Hey guys, welcome to BJ Tech News. This is episode 16 coming at you, and today's video is going to be Windows Server 2012 RC Data Center is out for testing. So this video is mostly a review. So to get started, I'm going to show you guys. So this is the link right here. If you go to my blog is bjtechnews.wordpress.com. I have all this information on that. To download this information, click on the Get Started. If you have a Microsoft sign-in account, you can do that way. If you have a Windows Live ID, you sign in. It gives you basic questions that you have to ask. You asked it, and automatically you will receive an email. Within that email, it gives you documentation and links to go to check out. Documentation, the links are just basically how to deploy, the differences of what's happening with 2012 data center on the server side. So the file is pretty big. I started the file last night. It was about 4.3 gigs. So it's a huge ISO. Okay. Once you get that stuff downloaded, you're good to go. You can either burn it into a DVD or do some testing on it, or do a virtualized, do virtual machine and test it that way. On this review, I'm going to do it a virtual machine, and I'm going to show you how everything is running. Apparently, the 2012 server data center is only built on two parts. You have more of the command prompt, and then you have the GUI. I'll show you guys when we get to that point. So next slide, pre-installation and information. The processor, you need at least 1.4 gigahertz 64-bit processor is a must. The ISO is only 64-bit. It will only work on a 64-bit platform. Okay. The better, the bigger the hertz, the better. So RAM 512 megabytes plus. This is the minimum requirement to get the thing up and running. But if you want to do some hardcore testing, virtual machine, I would give it 2 gigs. For this video, I gave mine about a gig. My processor is an i7 core, so it's pretty decent. Disk space requirements is about 32 gigs. If you guys are really testing it to do more of like a file server system or something else, give it more space. But for this episode, I'm just gonna give it 32 gigs, and it doesn't really take all 32 gigs, believe it or not. Before you start setup, this is one of the basic rules. I kind of narrow it down. Windows, TechNet, Microsoft actually gave you more stuff to do. I just gave it more. I cut it off and just gave you like the basic stuff that I think it's the most important stuff. So if you guys are upgrading a 2008 or if you have like a 2008 testing box and you want to upgrade it to 2012, I just back up your server. It's always a good thing to always back up your servers, regardless if it's a production or not. If you're doing a virtual machine, hey, it's even better because hopefully you guys are using snapshots on it. Disable your virus protection software only if you're upgrading. Run the Windows Memory Diagnostic tool. Make sure your memory, or your DIMMs, all your slots are running flawlessly, no problems. Trust me, I've been in a case my servers had bad DIMMs or bad memory, and it's a headache. So you always want to test all your hardware, test everything out before you do a clean installation. Okay, so what's new in Windows Server 2012? So, Active Directory, Domain Services, ADDS, Active Directory services in Windows Server 2012 includes new features that make it simpler and faster to deploy domain controllers, both on-premises and the cloud. More flexible and easier to both audit and authorize access to files, and easier to perform administrative tasks at scale, either locally or remotely, through consistent graphically and script management experiences. Some of the stuff is normally the same thing that every time Microsoft pushes out a new server, they basically give the same thing. Uh, Hyper-V. Hyper-V role enables you to create and manage virtualized computing environment by using virtualization technology that is built in the Windows Server 2012. Blah blah blah. And what's new? Also, remote desktop services. Remote desktop services server role in the Windows Server 2012 provides technologies that enables users to connect to virtual desktop, remote app programs, and session-based desktops, and etc. etc. Actually, there's more stuff that's new to it. I know BitLocker is one of the new features in it. Active Directory certificate servers is another thing. There's a couple of other new things that are out for Windows Server 2012 that Microsoft is actually advertising. But I picked the 3 that I think it's most important, the ones that you will use your server for. Windows Server installation options. Again, like I said earlier, it comes in 2 options. You got the server core installation, and you also got the server GUI installation. With the server core installation, you manage the server using command line only. Windows PowerShell, all by remote method. No user interface. Install, configure, uninstall server roles locally. No desktop experience. Server roles available. These are available roles. So you got AD search services, AD domain services, DHCP DNS server, file services, Hyper-V, print and web server, and that's about it. Again, there's more stuff that's available, but I just pick what stands out for IT people when they build a server. Second option is the server with GUID, graphical user interface. Standard user interface and all the tools are installed. You get the basic feel like a desktop. Server roles and features are installed with the server manager or by other methods. Right? You do get a user interface. You install, configure, uninstall server roles locally with the server manager. Microsoft Management Console is installed, MMC. To convert a server call installation with Windows PowerShell, you're able to, if you by any chance install the GUI, and let's say your boss come in and he's like, oh, I didn't want the GUI, I wanted you to do the core, you're actually capable to open up Windows PowerShell and run a command to revert to go back into server core installation, which is pretty cool. So the command is basically uninstall dash Windows feature space server dash GUI dash MGMT, which is management dash INFRA, which is infrastructure space dash restart. So the machine should restart and it should reload the server core installation, and again you get a command prompt, and within that command prompt you just gotta know all your command lines. If you guys are interested in that, just let me know. Shoot me an email, shoot me a comment, say, hey Bernard, I am actually interested in a future video of yours to actually see how the server core stuff is running. With this episode, I'm only going to do the GUI. Okay. Features removed and decapitated in the Windows Server 2012. Features removed. There's a bunch of features that are removed. I won't list it here. I won't try to explain it. Again, this is a quick review just to show you guys how everything is up and running. I'm going to do the installation, show you a couple of new features. I'm going to add the machine into my Active Directory, which is my Active Directory I'm actually running in a Windows 2008 R2 Enterprise. So that'd be good. This link right here will also be provided into my blog. I'll put my blog address into the comments of the YouTube, so you guys can check all that information out. And so we're actually gonna start right now. So this is my domain controller. I'm gonna go see if I created a folder for this. Okay, so I'm actually gonna call my virtual machine BJSVR12, which is server 12. Okay, I'm gonna create a new virtual machine. I'm gonna install the operating later. VMware doesn't really have an option of it yet, so because it's 64-bit, I picked 2008 64-bit. Give it the name, drop it where you want it. I want to drop it in my location. And this is not really best practices. Most likely, if you guys have if you do have a virtual machine infrastructure built in your company or wherever you have it built, most likely you have like a LUN or you have a NAS or something attached into your EXI box or server machine, back, storing your virtual machines out of being backed up all the time. If this machine fries, I'm pretty screwed because everything get lost. Hit next. I'm gonna give it 32 gigs because that's the minimum. It's only for scenario wise. I think when I first installed it, I had about 22 gigs left of space. Hit next. I'm gonna keep the memory as is, 1 gig, and I'll give it 1 processor. Finish. Okay, I'm gonna go back to the edits, virtual machine. Go inside my downloads folder, and this is actually the ISO. It's pretty big again. It's about 4.3 gigs. So let's do that. Press OK. Let's start. Let's close this up. It's loading the files. Looks pretty good. And this is a quick review. It's nothing too extreme. I probably install one of the roles within the server, and one of the roles I probably install is web services. Nothing too extreme. If you guys do want me to install other roles within the server 2012, hey, again, hook me up, email me, shoot me a comment, do something. Say, hey Bernard, I want you to do this and do this with the server 2012. I want to see how it works. Let me know. I take the time, the research to do it and record it and distribute it to one of my future episodes. So you get the basic stuff right here. English, English, USA. Okay, install. And then you get 2 options: install and then a custom. I'm gonna do a custom because I'm so used to doing a custom thing. The custom thing will take you to the portion to if you want to partition your hard drive or format it. This is what I was talking about. Two versions. I'm gonna do the server with the GUID. Again, if you guys want to see how this goes, just let me know, and I will do a video on that. Or if you want to see how that PowerShell command works, again, shoot me an email, and I will keep it. I will keep this virtual machine with the GUI, and then my next episode, I will just show you how to revert it to the server core installation using the PowerShell, and show you some basic commands to get yourself up and running and learn how to work with the server core with command line. Using this, hit next. I'm gonna agree. You can read this if you want. Hit next. I'm gonna do a custom. The only reason that I do a custom is I'm so used to doing custom with installations. Driver options, I won't partition it. If you're testing it to do software or SQL database to see how SQL works and everything, I think those are one of the things that won't work. There's a specific version for SQL that 2012 won't work properly with. Again, I share those links and everything out on my blog. Hit next. I keep it as is. But again, if you guys are testing out SQL, partition your hard drive so you could relocate your database to the D drive. Don't recommend putting your database into the C drive. Always partition it somewhere else and drop that stuff in. When I first installed this stuff, it was pretty fast, so hopefully it goes a little quick too. All right, so it's done. Installation is done. When you get to this point right here that tells you the time and the date and the month and all that stuff, you're actually done. So I'm gonna send a Control Delete command, and I'm gonna log into the administrative account. Remember, this machine is not part of my Active Directory at all, but we're gonna add it into Active Directory. So right now, this is really basic. Guys, seen this in the past with maybe 2008 when you log in for the first time, and it's you know, configuring the desktop, the browser, and making everything nice and clean. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change the screen resolution. Like always, the Server Manager pops up. Server Manager is pretty awesome. I kind of like the way that they did everything. And I like the way it feels. I like the way how everything is just smooth. It's just so cool. It's one of the things that I've learned when I was playing around with this the first time I installed it. They actually have a section to do nick teaming, which is awesome. Okay, so this is it. This is the Server Manager. Server Manager. Gives you a basic rundown and everything. Windows updates are not configured, so most likely I'm going to get an exclamation point right here, and the exclamation point is refresh complete one or more warning messages. So if I go to the task details, refresh complete with one or more messages. I have a BPA result refreshment. The system was able to open one or more of the BA results because the result either do not exist or This is strange. I got the same warning problem. I don't know if it's because, again, this is still in beta, so it's not really finalized. So I gotta do some research about this error. All services. This is pretty cool. You know, again with the warning. I think this is a section right here. If you right-click on this guy, you go to configure nick teaming, and it comes out with another dialog box, and you basically, you know. The machine that I'm hosting this stuff, it's it's a laptop. It has only one NIC, but if I had a computer or like a workstation with two NICs, I could actually get some team nicking, NIC teaming, and start going crazy. So let's go back here. I got a lot of warnings right here. I think all the warnings is because of this. I gotta do some research on this and see what's going on with that. But again, that'll be a later on tutorial or video. So the first thing I want to do is I want to add this into my private network, so I can add it to the domain, and I have to change my DNS to do that. I think it's that. Okay. As you see, there's no start menu at all, just like Windows 8 when I did the review. If you put your mouse over to the corner, you get this little panel right here. You got search, start, settings. If you click on start, you get this little cool guy right here. Computer, to go to computer, control panel, administrative. I'm going to do more of a little techie way, and I'm going to go to the control panel. I want to go into control panel. I'm going to do it that way. System and security. I'm going to go in there. I want to go to systems. I want to change let's change the name of this baby to this. Looking good. Let's log into my domain. Okay, give it some time. Like always with any Windows server, when you want to install certain roles, I know especially if I try to install the remote desktop role on this, I needed to be on the domain for it to work. So best practices. I know Windows 8 Server 2012, they got. It's not like you could go to start, go to computer, right click, go to properties and do that. You can actually do that, but it's just a pain. So the way I'm doing it now is really more of a techie way. Let me close this out. Like, I went to the control panel, went to system security, and typed in system, and I got in BAM. You know, or you could just basically go into here, go to search, and from search, you go to system information, system configuration. This is this is system configuration. If you click on that, let's go back. This is the only thing I don't like about it, because I'm doing it on the virtual machine. It takes forever for the side panel to come up. I don't know why. What is it? Computer management. System information. I don't think that's gonna be it. See, it's really weird. I'm not so used to typing in search commands. I'm so used to going blah blah there. But if you know PowerShell, command line. Hey, do it. Whatever floats your boat and gets the job done. That's how I see it. Should be added to my domain. Let me refresh this. Let me go to my domain. Refresh the computer. OU. Actually, it's not an OU. It's a container. Sorry about that, guys. And there you go. Let's double click on that. Let's look at the properties. Look at that. Version 6.2. Members of that. It's looking good. So let's close this up. Go back here and let's wait until we can log in. See if I have an account. See if I can create an account for this. I don't know. Login admin. Should I log into login admin? Yeah, I do login admin. I'll log into login admin. So, you want to switch, go other. You want to log into this account that I have in Active Directory. See how that works. I don't know, I like the way it feels. I like how everything runs. IIS server, when I installed it the last time when I was testing before this, I think it's running IIS 8. Internet browser, I believe, is running 9. I'm not too sure. We could double check that right now to see what version of IE is running. But I would love to hear from other people when they do test this stuff out, and I would love to hear, like, if you install software, how it's running and how how things are just running for you. I would like to hear, get feedback from that. Or if not, guys are too lazy, you don't want to do it, just hook me up an email, and I'm willing to do it myself. Let's see what version of IE Server 2012 comes. Explorer 10. Shites. That is crazy. Yup, Explorer 10. Wow. That's pretty cool. Okay, so yeah, a lot of warnings, as you can see, a bunch of warnings. Like, wow. My background intelligent transfer, my bit stopped. It's automatically delayed to start. Wow, start these services. Start. Wow. Got a lot of warnings. That's crazy. Got a lot of these warnings. I logged in locally to the machine. Let's add a row. See how that works. It's the same approach. When you add a row, it actually breaks it down into two portions, two installation types. You got a role-based or feature-based installation. You're configuring a single server by adding roles and role services and features. This is mostly the default for like Windows 2008 and what you've done in the past. But 2012 took it up a notch, and they're doing more like a remote desktop service installation. Requires a role service for VDI, which is virtual desktop infrastructure, to create a virtual machine based on the session-based session-based desktop deployment. This is something I would love to test, and again, I'll probably shoot out a poll with options of what you guys want me to do for the next episode. This is probably one of the options that I'll probably do. But for now, I'm gonna do what we know best, and it's just the basic default one. Select a server from the server pool. I only have one. This is pretty cool too. 2012 is Autobot Hyper-V. So if you guys are using 2012 and testing out Hyper-V, hey, hook me up and let me know how that stuff works out. Let me see if I can make some time and test that stuff out. I'm just going to select the server from the server pool, which is this. And I want to install web server for now. Add all the features to it, hit next. I'm going to start .NET. This is pretty cool. This is what I find interesting with 2012. In 2008, when you're actually installing web services, IIS, when you're installing the role, .NET Framework is, you have to install .NET Framework on the features and then go into the web services and install the role. With 2012, they combine everything. So basically, they made it a little smart. So if I want to install web services, it installs it, plus all the prerequisites, and plus it says, hey, you also need this, and this, and this, and this, which is pretty cool. Do the .NET Framework. Don't really need anything else. I'm gonna hit next. You guys can read all this if you want, but I'm just gonna hit next. The roles that I want, I keep everything the basic, but I'm going to do the basic authentication. It's the only thing that I want. Looks like they in Windows authentication. There you go. Want that too. And next, restart the destination server automatically if required. No. I found this interesting too when I did this. Do you need to specify an alternate source path? One or more installation selection are missing source file. This is weird. Server will try to from Windows updates. I think because I haven't pushed out any Windows updates to this machine yet, I'm getting this problem. Let's click next.